Alright, Landers, so today we're here to have a look at the brand new 9th anniversary 1000-year Blood War units. Yesterday we showcased the brand new Soifon, very fun unit, and the day before that we tried out a meta-changing Brave Battle unit, that being Human Sergeant. And for today's video, we're here to have a look at the new Holo BANKAI Toshiro, a form that I've been waiting for quite some time now. Now, since we've never had a Holo BANKAI Toshiro in game, we can't really compare his model to past 1000-year Blood War Holo BANKAI Toshiros, but at the very least we can make a very cool looking team like this, for example, where we have 3 different forms of Toshiro, all in their Bankai, and it's very cool that the petals are all different from one another. If we strictly look at the left 2 characters, because they're the most similar, right, you definitely know some difference here. Most importantly, you notice the 1000-year Blood War color scheme. Toshiro's hair is a lot more gray. Obviously, the model is an upgrade here. It looks a lot more smooth, and he actually looks more smaller, maybe more appropriate for a Toshiro model. With that said, though, Toshiro himself is a Heart Serpent Captain with the Stamina and also no affiliation kill abilities. The only SP unit during this anniversary to be given 2 killers, and I do think his killer combination is actually very good. I think it's been quite some time since we've gotten a ranged no affiliation killer, and more specifically, a ranged Stamina killer is going to make it a must-have for the upcoming ranged Stamina guild quest. That guild quest is lacking good characters, and Toshiro, if you have him, is going to single-handedly carry you through it. One, of course, special thing about Toshiro is that he was given 2 soul traits. He's the second character in the heart attribute to have this, where he has 12% recharge and also 20% strong attack damage. Now, in regards to the skills this character does have, he comes with a 70% berserker. He is immune to every stat element. That's very nice to see. So whenever I use him, I never have to worry about getting inflicted with stat elements. But following up with that 70% strong attack damage increase from the Berserker skill, he then does have Frenzy +2, an increased chance to inflict stat elements against Quincy's and also no affiliation enemies. And then when you do apply a stat element, you then get an 80% SP boost. That in of itself is great, but then alongside that, he has 2 specific skills that increases his damage output to frozen enemies. In this case, 100% more damage to frozen enemies, which is absolutely insane. And then an additional 40% to any enemy inflicted with a stat summon, and this also goes for any other heart attribute Soipa in your team. And in a way, this is going to allow him to be a very good team buffer for someone like True Shikai Ichigo or any potential heart Soipa in the future. With that though, he has some other good utility effects. He has Long Stride built in, he has Sharpshooter, Havoc, Sprinter +1, and his Sobom is also going to pack a punch too. With weakened defense, again, you're doing 140% more damage to frozen enemies basically, and a Sobom can guarantee to inflict a stat element. And then with that, you have Bombardment +1 and also Devastation. It's very rare to see both of those skills in one character, and I guess it makes sense. His Sobom, the attack that he takes down Sangdu with, is one of the bigger things. Realistically, the only thing he does in this form. So I do like the idea that they made it a powerful potential nuke, and nuking is still good. More damage on a Sobom is never a bad thing. And for today's showcase, of course, we are using the standard build, a Lieutenant's Badge, Artisanal T-Set, and of course also a Fortification Pill. The links in particular are going to be my Yuri, Recharge and Full Stamina, Ichigo giving us recharge and more strong attack damage only when at full stamina, and then we also have Chad giving us recharge and once more full stamina damage. For bonus abilities, keep it simple. Full stamina and SP is all you need to give him. He basically has everything else you need, so you might as well just go with overall more damage output. Now, before we do take him into co-op content like Inheritance Shards, for example, I want to quickly just demonstrate the character's strong attack kick because it is quite unique. So his SA1 is going to be a beam forwards, pretty much the best SA1 in the entire game, right? One of the best strong attack ones. You can never go wrong with a beam forward, right? His SA2 is going to be a traditional strong attack 3 where it's a vacuum vortex, has a really good range to it. One of the cards that come to mind that have a very similar strong attack is 5th Anniversary Byakuya, who has it as an SA3. So in a way, Toshiro has an SA3 as an SA2. And then with that, his SA3 is going to be a standard full screen attack. Of course, one of the unique parts, like with all the other anniversary characters, is that he does also have an EX attack, and it's actually kind of cool. So once you do press it, it has a like trap-like vortex attack that you can actually see get smaller and smaller until it becomes a final attack, one big pillar, like that, for example. It's a bit awkward to use because the trap itself does form around you, not in front of you. So what you're going to have to do is kind of get into the enemies, then use it. Obviously, we kind of one-shot here, but it does serve as a good store attack for you to potentially recover your strong attacks, maybe give you a better chance to inflict a stat element, and therefore get an SP boost. Of course, in Guild Quest content, that's going to be really good. A Vortex is always going to be good, and it pretty much guarantees that when you do use the Vortex attack, the EX attack more so, it is going to keep the enemies in place, allowing your teammates to do more damage too, right? Alright then, so with that said, and now let's take him into Co-op Ultra Inheritance Shards. So we're going to start off using our SA2 because lucky for him, that SA2 does hit quite a few times, right? And that allows us to, of course, have a better chance to inflict a stat element. So anytime we don't have an SA2 or an SP boost, ideally we are going to want to use our SA2, right? The SA1, obviously, with the SPUs does do quite a bit of damage, and it allows to basically, as you can see here, almost one-shot the enemies. And for the most part, we are using the character at his worst, right? He wants to mainly... Actually, hold on, we have... Never mind. This is actually him at his best, in a way. Because he does have an increased chance against Quincy, so that's why he's going to look a lot more impressive. So what we can do is just plant the Vortex here, back up. How much damage does it do? It's doing 50k a hit. It does have quite a slow amount of hits, like the amount of time it takes to get all the attacks off, but you can see that the EX attack did actually kill all the enemies. So yeah, I take back what I said about him being at his worst. This is actually him at not at his best, because he doesn't have no affiliation killer, but he does have his increased chance, and that's definitely noteworthy here, because for the most part, we are almost guaranteed to inflict status augments. Obviously, a really cool soul bomb right out of the anime. And in this case, what you can see here, like I mentioned, this soul bomb does pack a massive punch, right? Weakened defense, 80% SP boost, devastation, bombardment, and then, of course, also the 140% more damage. In this case, for our very first run, we were able to get a 1 minute clear time, 1 minute and 13 more so, but we did stall a bit on the Misaki boss, so we can probably get faster than that, maybe get close to a sub 1 minute. Attempt number 2, though, let's see if we actually can get a sub 1 minute, which we were surprised if we can actually get that, but then maybe not. With the increased chance, we can basically brute force our way through this. I'm very curious to see how he's going to perform when he doesn't have an increased chance. I don't think it's going to be as bad, because again, he has the Vortex attack on that SA2. So it should be relatively fine, and he has a good strong attack kit. Like, this is very smooth gameplay, I will be honest. So with that said, let's go here and use our SA2. Unfortunately, didn't get that back mob, but that's fine. Might as well use our E attack here just to stall a bit. And then we can go here, use our SA3. Finish up with the 2. Back up with the 1, because it seems like one enemy got far away. Now we have to kind of just wait a tad bit. Oh, unfortunately, we took some damage. That kind of ruined the run, but we'll keep it going. Unfortunately, the character has no way to get back up to full stamina if you do take damage, but then again, just don't do what I did just there. More often than not, you really shouldn't get hit with Toshiro, because, as you'll see there, when an enemy spawns in, especially the Quincy or no affiliation enemy, they should instantly get frozen. So let's go up, use our soul bomb. And even after we lose the full stamina, you can see how powerful his soul is, it's still one-shotting. So in that case, I doubt the run was even faster. We did take some damage, but I think it's still going to be a respectable clear time. Funny enough, it was faster. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Just for comparison's sake, because I do like comparing units, we did showcase Soifun yesterday, and Soifun was able to get a 1 minute and 25 second clear time, despite not having an increased chance to inflict status augments, despite not having guard break. So that goes to show how good Soifun as a unit actually is, even with those drawbacks when compared to Toshiro, who of course is the star of the banner, and he has an increased chance. But we did get a 1 minute and 10 seconds there. Let's now try and do one more run and see if we can break that sub 1 minute. Alrighty then, attempt number 3. Let's see if we actually can do this. So let's use our SA2 there. Push back with the 1. Actually, that did really good damage. Look at that. That felt great. SA2 comes back in time where we can hopefully group all these up. Yes, look at that. And we actually one-shot them there. Unfortunately, didn't kill with that. Would have been great if we did, actually. I mean, that's kind of fine. We can finish up here with the 3. That enemy got frozen. Lucky for us, we're still... Remember, our normal attacks can also do a respectable amount of damage too, right? Because that's 140%. It's always just one enemy that stays alive. That's kind of annoying. Let's back up. Actually, let's just use our SA3. Because we can probably go here, use our SA1, and then 2 to finish up, yeah, both the bosses and the mobs. There we go. Let's use our 1 here. Might as well use the EX attack just to have it placed. Then 3. 3 absolutely nukes. That felt powerful. That felt very powerful. And then again, we can finish off using the soul bomb. Nice and easily done. I gotta say, it feels nice to finally have like a powerful cannon Toshiro unit. When was the last time we had that? Of course, we had the Safui version, You know, original characters are super cool, but it's always nice to have a powerful canon unit too. And in that case, we did get a 1 minute and 4 second clear time. At 1.5, that's actually pretty good. In a way, to be fair, that's actually very comparable to 9th anniversary Kenpachi and also Grammy. They were also getting very similar clear times, but then again, it's not entirely the fairest comparison due to the fact that, again, Toshiro's getting that increased chance to inflict statism, and that's definitely a big game changer for him. When we use Grammy, when we use Kenny, they weren't getting that increased chance. They were kind of just brute forcing it thanks to their Frenzy +3. So it's not entirely the biggest, fairest comparison, but at the very least, when it comes to IT, all 3 characters are going to clear fast. But I'll probably showcase the character once more in the future because I do want to see how he performs when he doesn't have the increased chance. I think he'll be relatively fine, maybe a tad bit slower, but right now at the very least, he is able to almost get a sub 1 minute clear time in Inheritance Shards, which obviously is very, very good. Next up though, we're taking Hello Bankai Toshiro into the Awakened Byakuya Ultimate Epic Raid. Right now we are currently a bonus, so we are getting that 3 times damage output. With that, we're using the exact same accessories. I changed up the links a tad bit just to go with extra strong attack damage when at full stamina, right? Different multipliers, for example. And I guess this is kind of cool. As always, I'm always using the 3 Toshiro familiars. 60% Berserker, 60% more damage at full stamina. And I guess now it's nice that we're using it on a Toshiro. With that said, we have to do 30 million damage. How fast can we do it? Let's find out. So realistically, for us to clear fast, we need to inflict a statism at least twice, probably. So let's use our summon right away. Then use our SA1. Look at that. SA2. Woo! We got the freeze proc, that's what happened. Let's use the EX, then 3, then a 1. You can see there, we didn't do as much damage. Damn, that SA2 is doing crazy damage. And we actually beat that before the EX attack actually even finished. In that case, though, very easily done, a 12-second clear time. I didn't actually realize how the hits were calculated in that SA2, right? It seems like it does a very little amount of damage in the group up, and then when it finally connects, when it grips everyone together, it just does an insane amount of damage, because that SA2, that final hit, it was kind of crazy just to see the boss HP literally disintegrate on that second part. Let's try that once more, though. Maybe it was a fluke, right? So again, we're going to start off using our Soul Bomb EX into the SA2. Yeah, so you can see that we really do need to get that freeze proc, because it makes quite a big difference. I believe, did we take advantage of that freeze proc there? I know that I noticed the EX attack did actually do something. SA1. And then let's finish up with the 3. There we go. So in that case, we didn't get as lucky with the status procs. Sometimes that, you know, that happens, right? But even with that, we were still able to brute force our way through it. In this case, what, 21 seconds? That's still good. Or 20 seconds in this case, and that's by ourselves. So let's open up the lobby once more, do one more run, this time with a bunch of people. All right then, so let's see how it does go. So in this case, we have 3 Toshiro, 2 6th anniversary guys, and Animugetsu. I'm going to start off using the Soul Bomb. I kind of forgot to, but remember, the Soul Bomb does apply weakened defense, right? So that does allow us to do 30% more damage. Unfortunately, though, in my case, even though I used the Soul Bomb, I didn't actually inflict a status on it, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. Everyone's using their Soul Bomb, and in this case, we were able to clear in just 15 seconds. Next up, though, let's take Toshiro into Limit Breaker Quest. Now, the gameplay you are seeing is a run that I did do as a separate video, and I will say Toshiro became a lot more enjoyable due to Soifon being on the team, because it basically allowed us to spam our strong attacks, right? But in this case, honestly, Toshiro performed very well, as you would expect him to, right? The Beam SA1, any character with a Beam strong attack, either as an SA1 or an SA2, it makes it so if you do line up, you can clear potentially multiple waves. Since he was given Long Stride, I didn't have to waste that as a bonus ability, and that's what I like about this character. It's what I disliked about the 9th anniversary characters, right? Because in that case, instead of giving the character Long Stride as a bonus ability, I'm able to focus on increasing the character's damage output, which really does make a difference in content like Limit Breaker. Very similar to our Inheritance Trials run and even in Epic Raids, that SA2 being a Vortex attack is probably one of the best parts about him. Having any attack that can have multiple hits that gives him his best chance to inflict the styles on it really does him favors, especially as a character like this, where he's designed to do more damage to throws than enemies. Of course, lucky for him, his damage output is good as is, but when you do inflict the styles on it, you do 140% more damage. And when it came to the poised enemy stage, whether it was stage 7 stage 19 plus, it honestly wasn't even much of an issue. You kind of forget they even have poise because you instantly freeze them, and then you're doing 140% more damage. You're doing a lot of damage, and you're able to take them down super quick. I'll be honest, I didn't really get much use out of the EX attack. It's still a new mechanic. I'm still learning where to best use it. In my case, I just used it as an extra damage potential. Since we were going against no affiliation enemies, I didn't really need the EX attack to inflict status augments. So maybe this attack in particular will be better when he doesn't have killer. But since we are basically almost guaranteed to inflict freeze, I just used it as an alternative way to do more damage, which is a good way to look at it, right? The best part about EX attacks is that they don't take away from the character's kit. It's literally just an additional attack. In Toshiro's case, it's more ways to inflict freeze, and it's more ways to overall do more damage. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, one of the best parts about him is his soul bomb. Again, while we are kind of passed away from the nuking meta, still having a strong soul bomb is valuable. In this case, being able to use my soul bomb, do a lot of damage, apply weakened defense, and then follow up with more damage because the enemies are now frozen, was overall a very good combination. At no point was I ever really close to taking damage. He's a very smooth character to play. If anything, my only complaint, and to be fair, this was my complaint with the last Toshiro that we did get, the Beyond Bankai one, I would really love to see freeze and weakening as a combination of status augments. Well, I don't think we've ever seen that before, and I get it would be quite OP, but I would have loved to have seen that on Toshiro. Doesn't make him bad or anything. He's honestly perfectly fine as is, especially because, again, he does do 140% more damage to frozen enemies. How many times have I said that in this video? But it would have been nice to see freeze and also weaken on a Toshiro. That's something that he's never had, but maybe they can say that for a future Toshiro, like for example Zombie, or eventually what we are going to see in Core 4. Either way, solid performance in Limit Breaker. The freeze definitely played a big part. At no point did I have to worry about poison enemies, and once they were frozen, it was a smooth sailing, a lot of damage, and a very fun strong attack here. So with that said, in conclusion, honestly, he's a very fun character. Definitely the highlight of the banner to a lot of people, right? He's the best unit in the banner. 2 killers, really good strong attack here, great skills to boot. In a way, he has almost nothing bad about him. Like, what's bad about him? You could definitely have some preferences, or maybe wanted X skill over another skill, for example, but generally, he has like nothing bad about him. I think one of the best parts about him is that he is a heart character. While heart is still a great attribute, we haven't had like an OP heart character since like January, so it's been quite some time. As far as Soapers go too, this is one of our first exclusive anime units, because again, Holo Bankai Toshiro was never done in the past. So very happy to finally have this in game, and he looks really cool too. Very good visuals. I feel like Caleb did quite a good job at his visual kit, especially given the fact that while in this form, he quite literally only does one attack. And in all honesty, I don't really mind them making 2 1000-year Blood War Toshiro units, the last one of course being his Zanjutsu form. I do like at the very least they did cover that, and making that form a Naj unit while making this one an OP SP unit, I think was overall the best case scenario. Of course though, this isn't going to be the only Toshiro we are going to get. Like I just mentioned, we are going to get a zombie form and then eventually adult Toshiro, right? That's definitely something to look forward to as well. There's no guarantee the zombie form would be a good character, but you can definitely bet adult Toshiro is going to be one of the most broken characters in the game. But we are quite a while away from that, because we're probably not going to see that till Core 4. But overall, this Toshiro was a very fun unit, very strong unit too. And again, I'm just happy to have more good canon units. In this case, we finally have a good canon Toshiro. With that said though, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know what you guys think about this Toshiro. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.